Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today bringing another benchmark test, and this is for the Galaxy Note 4. Now, for this benchmark test, we do run, of course, just CPU-Z to see what's inside, then the CPU test, then the graphics test, and then the AnTuTu benchmark test for the overall test. So, for the CPU-Z, we do see that this is the Snapdragon 805 version with a 2.7 quad-core processor. And it is a quad-core. It does have the graphics card, the Adreno 420, and it does have Android 4.4.4 with the screen resolution being at a 2560 by 1440, which is the 2K display or Quad HD that is on the Note 4. Now, this one does have 3 gigs of RAM, a little bit, about 50% is being used right now by just the apps that I've installed and the apps that come with it. And about half of it is free for internal storage. By the way, the internal storage on this one is 24.66 out of the 32 that you have natively. So that's pretty low I would say, by most standards. In terms of battery life, really good lasting so far, but we'll get more into that in the effects. And it does have a lot of sensors, including a new UV sensor, which is kind of interesting. Alright, so let's check out the first test, and that was the CPU-Z. Now in the CPU-Z, we could see that this device ranked from 6 to sometimes being at the high 7s. Let's test out this one since this one's relatively short right now and see where it lands. Now, for the most part, it kind of landed definitely always above the G2, but still always lower than the NVIDIA K1 that is out. So that is important to note. In terms of processing power, as you can see, yep, this is pretty much typical. Generally lands around the 7s. And again, not above the G2 from last year, but not where the NVIDIA Shield was. It actually was the NVIDIA Tegra 4 in terms of raw processing power. Now, in terms of graphics, this does have the Adreno 420, which is considered one of the best graphics cards on the market right now. Rivals would be the K1 by Tegra, and of course Apple's processor. It did max out both the regular and the extreme one, and the unlimited it scored very high at a 19706, just to give you an idea where that falls in everything else. 19706 is above every single Android device out on the market, and only seconded to actual PCs. So that's very, very impressive in terms of graphics. And I did tell everyone that in terms of graphics, there would be no competition. With this one, you can see the NVIDIA Shield down there, and just everything else is definitely below this device. So when it comes to graphics, it seems that the Note 4 is going to be the top one. Now what about AnTuTu? AnTuTu kind of checks everything. Processor, graphics, everything that this device has to offer. So how did it do here with the RAM, everything taken into account? Well, with AnTuTu, it tended to land very well. This was 46. It's gone anywhere from 45 to as high as 48 when I've tested this, which is, as you can see, ranked as amazing. Now, how does that compare to every other device? Well, in terms of the top one out, which is the M8T, which we don't have here, but I believe that is considered the butterfly to overseas. It is topping that one, which also has the same processor built into it. So in terms of everything out, you can see that this beats the S5, the Note 3, the Z2, just everything basically that's been out or talked about for a while now. This has beaten it. And let's compare it. So let's compare it just to the S5. You can see it beats it on total score, multitasking. A couple of these rank on the S5. Single thread will rank here. RAM, actually, funny enough, ranked over there on the S5. But you can see it kind of goes back and forth slightly. But overall, it's going to be the top one. Even on the HTC One M8T, on HTC's best one that is overseas, and again, not in the US, we can see that it's still just faltered, especially on multitasking. It seems that multitasking is really one of the things that made this device stand out. So yeah, guys, that was the Note 4 benchmark test. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any questions on this and how this device ranks against other devices, please feel free to ask. This has been RSCKY, the Android Guy.